everybody, it's SaskiaSketches and I drew a huge digital painting and I want to tell you about it. This piece took around 10 hours, which is a lot more time than I usually spend on a piece. So yeah, I was a little bit shocked to find that out, but I guess it makes sense because there's a lot of detail that went into this one. So yeah, if that gives you any indication of how much work I put into this one, you guys better enjoy it. So I got the idea for this piece when I was listening to High School Musical music of all things. I was listening to it because I missed hanging out with a friend of mine, and when we hang out and we like maybe bake cookies or something, we always listen to High School Musical music and like Glee and all sorts of Mamma Mia, that type of music. And I was feeling nostalgic, so I was listening to that music, and then this idea of a Light in the Darkness high school alternate universe came into my mind, and I really wanted to draw it. So yeah, originally I was going to write a little story and read it to you whilst I show the speed paint on screen, but then I remembered that secondary school was very uneventful most of the time anyway, apart from like stress and exams and everything, but it wasn't like, you know, there was any like story worth telling, so I wasn't all that inspired and I wasn't really sure what to write about. So instead I'm just going to explain to you my process. So you just watched me sketch out the classroom, and I did a lot of mirroring of the canvas, which is a trick that I have been using quite a lot lately because it's very, very helpful. I also used what I learned in my technical drawing classes in terms of perspective and everything to get the perspective at least somewhat right. I don't think it looks too scuffed. There's probably mistakes in there, but you know, it's not absolutely terrible. I've drawn way worse things perspective wise, but yes. After that I sketched in the chairs and the characters as well, and after I got like a rough block out of everything that I wanted, I started to add detail, also known as my second sketch layer. Always sketch your big shapes out first and then go into detail, because you want to avoid at all cost drawing a very detailed thing that you then will have to move. In terms of traditional art, digital art, it's not that terrible, but when you're drawing traditionally, you really want to avoid going into detail, you know, before you're ready. So yeah, I thought it was very important to do that first, but yeah, you know, that's just my process. Maybe something works better for you, but this is the way that I like to work. Then another crucial point, once I finished doing all the cute little details around the room, like the what's that called? A stool, like the stools and the beakers and the books and stuff, posters, whatever. I asked for feedback because feedback is really important. No, wait, that's wrong. I only asked for feedback after I started to line up. Never mind. So I first began to line the characters. As usual, I use a very small round brush to do my lineup, because my style is very much anime, and anime has a rather boring line type of quality to it. There's not all that much line weight variation. I do a couple black fills every now and then, but there is not all that much to it. After I finished the characters, I started to line the environment, and I had luckily done all the sketching on separate layers so that I could toggle things on and off that were getting in my way, and the line art of the environment. I did all the line art on separate layers as well to, you know, if I were have to tweak something, I wouldn't have to, you know, painfully select every single chair from out from under the characters and stuff. So I really made sure to take care of that before I started to, you know, ask for feedback, and inevitably would have to move some stuff around. Yeah, so after I asked for feedback, I got a couple good points from a fellow student of mine. She told me, for example, that the characters in the back looked a lot too looked a lot bigger than they were supposed to, and I adjusted accordingly. So I made the room a lot larger, and that helped a lot with the characters' proportions as well. And I think I lowered Amire's chair a lot because it looked like he was kind of like sitting on a floating chair because it was too high, and all that sort of stuff. It's really, really useful and helpful to ask for feedback wherever you can get it, so that you know, when you're staring at a piece for too long, you'll, you know, miss out on these sort of things, and you'll forget, or you know, you won't be able to see it because you've looked at it for too long. So it's really useful to ask for a second opinion. So always ask for feedback whenever you can, preferably in the early stages of the work, because that's when you'll have enough time to move things around and stuff. After that, I just added a whole load of detail to, you know, the rest of the background and the characters and the chairs and the tables and everything, and that was so much fun. I had a lot of fun with that. After that, I did a value study because I wanted to figure out where the values would be, because it was a really, really big piece and I wanted to make sure that I got the lighting correct. So I just did a study where I, you know, imagined all the shadows would be, because we'd have the you know, the window as a big light source, and the shadows that would cast on the floor and on the tables and the chairs, and on the characters as well. And I kind of experimented with what kind of lighting that I wanted, how ambitious I wanted to do my shading, because once again, I am doing an anime style. I also asked for some feedback on this, and another friend of mine mentioned that I should maybe look into bounce light and stuff, but when I tried that, it started to look very, you know, much unlike anime, so I opted not to add too much detail into my shading, but just wanted to get the kind of general feel for the piece and where the, you know, the lighting would be, without, you know, getting too ambitious or too realistic with that. I also added some rim lighting because I love rim lighting, and whenever I get a chance to do it, I always think that's really cool and fun to do. Yeah, so after that, I wanted to use this layer as my actual shading layer, but I figured that out later. First, I wanted to get in the flat colors, and that was really, really fun. I had so much fun doing the flats in this one. It was just, you know, blocking out some color and trying to figure out a cool color scheme for this, and when it comes to pieces that are as big as this, it's always really, really important that you keep your color scheme consistent, and that you keep it small, so you don't add too many different colors into too many different spaces and spots, because it's really, really easy to get a, you know, a muddy piece because you're using so many different colors. So I really tried to keep my color palette limited, and I really, really enjoy how it came together. So I had just a couple blues and a couple greens, and I had a yellow as well, and I just tried to stick to those and not differ from them. And, you know, even if I wanted to make something a specific color and it didn't fit into the color scheme, I'd just figure out something that looked like it, but wasn't maybe wasn't exactly what I wanted. But yeah, so it's always a bit of give and take, especially with the background. I really wanted to stick you know, to a specific color scheme. I also really like all the little details on the poster that I had, the posters that I had in the background and stuff, and I just, you know, made some random chemistry things. I've taken chemistry, so they're all like correct-esque. I'm pretty sure they're correct, but don't like quote me on that because I wasn't the best at chemistry. I had the most fun doing the flats for the characters. I thought that was really when the piece started coming together a little bit. I had a lot of fun just blocking out the you know, the colors for the characters, even though I went back and forth a couple times on what I wanted, and especially with the clothes. I think I changed V's clothes a lot, and I struggled with Amire's shirt a lot as well. But I really do enjoy how I make everything look, and I love T'Cha's shirt so much. I love it so much. I love the little rainbows on the like the what you call it, the sleeves and the bottom of the shirt. It was really nice. After that, I played around with that shading layer that I made earlier. I made it. I put a color layer over top so that it would have more of a purple feel, and I added some minor changes and extra shading, and that's basically it. I really enjoyed working on this piece. So if you enjoyed watching me work on this piece, thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more art videos every single Friday. Have a great weekend, guys, and keep on sketching. Bye!